Bettor Sports props and futures for tonight's action. Bettor Sports Betting wants to know what picks you're playing tonight. Tell us in the live chat on YouTube, Twitter, and the Bettor Sports Network app. This is Bettor Sports Betting with Fantasy Alarm's Dan Servodidio.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in here to the Bettor Sports Betting Show on Bettor Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm. Appreciate everyone joining here on a Wednesday afternoon. I got Howard Bender back with me for today's show. What's up, Howard?
Not much, Servo. Just kind of wading through my my MLB best bets and stuff like that. It was, Scherzer let me down yesterday, but listen, that's the way things go sometimes, right? It's the way things go.
Yeah, we had some misses last night, some hits too, but the misses kind of just stand out and hurt a little bit more. When we get to our best bets tonight, I will definitely have a tale from one of my picks from last night that just I can't believe it lost to this point. So
dude, I couldn't believe mine either. We were in the same game on different bets, and we both got it.
Well, let's just talk about it right now because
might as well.
Framber Valdez, he coughed up a few runs in the first inning to the Orioles. So your first 5 bet didn't go too well. And then the Orioles had a 3-run lead in the 9th inning and let up a grand slam to Kyle Tucker to cost them that win. I had the money line for the Orioles, and that was just, it's a bad beat. The bad beats exist in the sports betting world, and that one was a tough one to swallow.
It was. I mean, listen, I didn't think that Framber Valdez was going to get destroyed the way he did really early on. And I was like, all right, well, whatever. I mean, the Orioles have this one in the bag. And, at least Servo's going to get his end of this bet. I'm not going to get my end of this bet, but at least Servo's going to get. Oh,
wait. Yeah, of all people to blow, it was Bautista for the Orioles in the 9th. Tough one. But Grayson Rodriguez did his thing, so I guess I was right on that part. But your first 5 did not do too well. We'll wiping the slate clean. We looked at tonight. We got plenty of games tonight to dive into. Some afternoon baseball going on right now. But enough games tonight to give some picks out to the people. If you got any of your bets you want to throw out to us, any leans that you have, definitely comment in the chat here on YouTube or tweet at us, whatever you got going tonight. And we'll give some advice there on that end. But we started yesterday's show talking some NFC North win totals and, previewing that division. And we got to go right back to the NFL talk here because we got to go to the AFC North win totals. Me and Howard will be tracking these picks throughout the season and seeing where we land on them. Let's start today for the AFC North bets. Their win totals. We got the Ravens and the Bengals both at 10.5 here. The Steelers at 8.5. The Browns at 9.5. Let's start with the Cincinnati Bengals at 10.5 wins as their over under minus 130 to the over, plus 110 to the under. Last year, obviously they were a great team last year. 12-4 was the record last year. This win total actually, if you've been tracking it, is down 1. It used to be 11.5 recently, but the Joe Burrow calf injury recently kind of moved the sports books in the direction to, people were starting to bet on the under there. So it moved the win total down a win. So we got 10.5 as the number here. Where are you going with this?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because, I was wondering whether or not the line was going to move or if they were going to kind of make that adjustment. I think they did strictly because the first 2 games of the season are divisional games, right? They play the Browns first, they play the Ravens second. And if Joe Burrow's not, fully up to speed, then, what's going to happen? I'm still going to hit the over on this one. I mean, listen, I just the Bengals, to me, a high quality team. I love the way they get everything done. There is a remote possibility that Joe Mixon could get a 1 or a 2 game suspension. So that's actually something else you got to watch. If there's a preponderance of evidence against him in this civil case, the NFL will probably turn around, maybe give him a game or 2 on that. And maybe that's what's kind of moving the needle there. But, when you look at the other games that they've got, the Rams, the Titans, the Cardinals, I feel like they should be able to handle the Seahawks. Niners will be a tough game. Bills will be a tough game. But then you got the Ravens again, and you got the Texans, the Steelers. Jags should be an interesting game, but they should be able to beat the Colts or the Vikings or the Steelers again. I'm looking at this, this schedule, and I'm like, how did this team get such a soft schedule given who they are? I mean, this is like the NFL to me saying we're rooting for the Bengals here because Swaggy Joe winning a Super Bowl title is great for everybody. It's great for the Bengals. It's great for the NFL.
I got to push back a little bit on this. I don't think their schedule's that easy. I think it's a tough one, especially in the second half. So they get their bye in week 7, and then they have to go on the road to San Fran, which is tough. They get Buffalo at home, but I mean that's I feel like that's gonna be a toss-up, probably a pick 'em. Maybe the Bengals are slightly favored in that one. Houston's easy, but then on the road at Baltimore on Thursday night's tough. Home again, that's not tough. We might be differing on the Ravens then coming up.
Just look at the Ravens and just say, you got to figure. I mean, what a split between the Ravens? They win one, they lose one.
Yeah, well, that one's the road one. That's the second one of the two, and it's on Thursday Night Football. I mean, how often do you see the road teams, win on Thursday night, especially when it's a division matchup? I just think that's tough. And then we got Pittsburgh at home, and then on the road at Jacksonville. I think that's sneaky tough. And then the Colts they should beat. The Vikings they should beat. On the road at Pittsburgh on a Saturday night, I think is a sneaky tough spot for them. And then at Kansas City is also tough. They finish with the Browns, which should be a win. But I think that second part of the schedule is tougher than you'd think. And honestly, the Joe Burrow calf injury worries me. I'm interested to see just how effective he is and how healthy he's going to be in that week 1. As you mentioned, they opened with Cleveland and Baltimore. If it lingers into the season and all of a sudden he's maybe missing a game or two, if he tries to come back too soon, then, this win total seems like the under for me. So I'm going under.
Okay. All right. Listen, you know what? It
scares
okay
me. It scares me,
for you to be wrong, Servo. It doesn't. There's no harm in that whatsoever. Let me hit up my buddy over at Fantasy Receipts, and we'll see. Oh no, it's not fantasy. Never mind. It's not a fantasy take. It's just a win take here.
It's just a win total.
I do so many shows here on the network here, Servo. I don't know if we're talking fantasy or betting. What are we talking? Okay. Listen.
You flip that brain to the betting.
Dude. I love that. I like being on the opposite side of you because first and foremost, above all, I think it's great conversation. Yeah. And we can sit there, we can talk about it, we can break down the schedule, we can look at things that are going on, we can talk about the injury, and it's good conversation to have. And then, and leave it up to the public there. Who are you going to side with? You side with the worry wart? I mean, Dan Servodidio here. Oh, the cap. Dude, Joe Burrow doesn't need the preseason. Stay in the walking boot. When you're ready, you're ready. And we'll take you here week 1. I'm okay with him.
All right. Yeah. I mean, listen, I when going through these win totals starting last night and just trying to dive into whether I'm going to, go over, under, you can make arguments for a lot of these teams, whether you want to go on either side of it. So, it's literally going through the schedule, maybe a game or two that's obviously going to make the difference. But at 12-4 record, I just see a little bit of a decrease in that performance. So, I think I probably have them right at 10 wins, honestly. So I'll take the over or the under at plus money too, plus 110. Not bad. All right, let's the other team with the 10.5 win total is the Baltimore Ravens. So Vegas kind of putting these two teams the clear top 2 of the division here. The over at minus 105, the under at minus 115. The Ravens last year went 10-7, so just under this win total. And that was with Lamar Jackson missing some time, obviously. Where are you going with this Ravens win total?
I'm really kind of torn. I mean, it's definitely a no bet for me because I think it's like right there. I mean, 10, 11 wins could very well be what we're looking at for the Ravens. I mean, I need to see how this offense looks. I need to see how Lamar Jackson is being utilized by Todd Monken. And, is his relationship with Mark Andrews remaining intact, or is Monken going to be like, dude, you got to throw to these, this boatload of wide receivers I gave you. I gave you Odell Beckham. You got Zay Flowers drafted. Rashad Bateman's back. So, there's definite potential there for things to really kind of explode. And I do love their defense. I mean, when they got Roquan Smith last year in the second half, that was a game changer for the defense. But I mean, again, you're looking at a team that there's change, there's verbiage differences. So, they were a 10-win team last year. I'll lean on the under just because I think that they hit 10 again this year.
Okay. Well, I am to the over here. I like the fact that this team, you mentioned the defense. I have no worries about the defense. I think that's going to be a solid spot for them this year. I'm really high on this offense, taking another leap here with Todd Monken, as you mentioned, coming in as the OC from Georgia. And listen, as people that research for NFL betting, fantasy football, you probably by now kind of dive into what Todd Monken is. And he's previously in the NFL, but I just see what he did at Georgia, national championship Georgia team, using the 2 tight ends that he did, like he did with Darnell Washington and Brock Bowers, spreading the field and not relying on, 1 or 2 playmakers. Brock Bowers was arguably the best playmaker on that team as a tight end. And I see the similar thing here. Mark Andrews is probably the best weapon on this offense, but him and Isaiah Likely is a great, are probably the best tight end duo in the league. I think that duo is going to be really a gem for Todd Monken to play around with. Not to mention, they bring in just some playmakers for the receiving core. Zay Flowers they drafted, Odell Beckham. We'll see what he's got, but Nelson Aguilar can stretch the field too. And I think Lamar Jackson's going to be, just a really good, point guard in this offense. I think it's going to be great. So, and I like the fact that, last year before he got hurt, they went 7-4 with him as a starter, and then went 3-3 in the final 6 games of the season with Huntley there as the quarterback. I just think that I think that a full season of Jackson, which is not guaranteed. I mean, he could easily miss a game or 2 again, but I feel like he's going to be motivated by this offense to really put on a show. So yeah, give me the over here, 10.5 wins.
Okay. All right. So we're opposite on both sides right there. Let's dive into the next team. You want to do Cleveland or Pittsburgh next?
Let's do Cleveland next. But first, I do want to just kind of do a RT Sports giveaway that we have to give to the people here. We're giving away 1 free entry to the Real-Time Sports Fantasy Football Best Ball Championship right now. So if you're watching right now, comment right now on YouTube or tweet at us on Twitter, wherever you're watching, with whatever bet you have for the NFL season upcoming, any futures bet you have. If it's AFC North related, even better. But any bet you have, just throw it in the chat and you get this free entry that we have to the RT Sports Best Ball Championship, where you can compete for a grand prize of $25,000. You can. It's a best ball format, so you draft your best possible lineup each week automatically, set it and forget it. Live drafts every night going on with this. You get this exclusive offer of 100% deposit match up to $200, and you get this free entry. Just go to rtsports.com/alarm. Use promo code ALARM23 to get into there. But we're giving this free entry away right now. If you comment right now in the chat with whatever bet you got, any NFL futures bet, please play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, with that in mind, well, yeah,
I gotta tweet that out to the masses here. I mean, listen, if there are people in there in the chat room, so we're giving away. You're saying we're giving away a free entry to their Best Ball Championship?
Yeah, you could get $25,000.
Damn, I gotta tweet that out right here, right now to everybody. Tweet out that we're giving away a free
entry to RT Sports.
Am I eligible for this
championship?
Am I eligible?
Well,
can I sneak a bet into chat?
I think you should let the people get in if they can.
Wow. Right now, I'm going to use all caps here because everybody loves when anybody uses all caps.
It makes you pay attention, yeah.
Your chance at $25,000.
Woo!
Oh baby, I'm going to put an oh baby at the tail end of that right there.
Oh, that's your tag there. I love it.
All right, make sure we get that in there. So beautiful.
All right, yeah. I'll look for your tweet and I'll be retweeting it. But yeah, let's flip gears to the Cleveland Browns here. Now the next win total will break down. 9.5 is the win total, plus 115 to the over. The under is at minus 135. This team went 7-10 last year, and it seems the sports books, at least DraftKings here, setting that win total at 9.5 because we're expecting a full season now with Deshaun Watson. He only played 6 games last year for the Browns, but obviously a full year of Watson has this win total pushed up a little bit. Where are you going with this over under 9.5 wins?
They were a 7-win team last year. I mean, I want to say the over because I think Deshaun Watson as a player is absolutely fantastic. I think he's, really good. And I think that, now that he's got the experience and he's, knocked the rust off last year, I want to jump in on that so badly. But, this division is tough. They're playing the NFC North this year. So that's a tough group there with the Lions and the Bears and,
oh my.
I was and the Vikings, anybody but the Packers. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's it's a good spot to be in. But, with that schedule, are we going to buy in that much here that it's better than a 2-win or it's got to be a 3-win team if you want to take the over, like a three wins more. So I will err under the side of caution here, and I will say the under, but my heart is saying over. My head says the under.
Well, we agree on this one. I am also on the under here.
Oh, then I'm on the over then. No,
listen, going back through the Browns season by season results, right? This is a team that, had a couple up years, but overall getting to 10 wins here, that's the over. It's just something they have not done at all frequently. They've only won 10 plus games once in the last 15 years. And that one over was in the 2020 COVID season where obviously no crowds for road games, I think helps that boost. So I'm just on the under here. The history is pointing to the under. I can't go over here. I know Watson should be better. The offense should be better. They got Elijah Moore now in that receiving core with Amari Cooper. So the offense should be good. Obviously, Nick Chubb's a stud. But I just don't think they're going to get to 10 wins here. It's a tall order. And I'm looking at the schedule. The end of season stretch is what really pushed me to the under. They have, starting in week 10, they have at Baltimore, home versus Pittsburgh, then at Denver and at LA. I think both sneaky tough road matchups. And then home versus Jacksonville. I'm high on Jacksonville this year. Chicago at home. I think it's a tough, cross conference matchup there. Houston, they should win. The Jets at home. I think another tough cross division matchup. And then Cincinnati on the road to end it. The end of season stretch scares me, even if they get off to a good start.
All right. Well, considering we're on the same side of this, I have nothing to add.
All right. We're both on the under there.
Verbal retweet, Dan.
Verbal retweet. Our last team here, the Pittsburgh Steelers, their win total is at 8.5 wins for this season. The under is at plus 120, and the over is at minus 140 on DraftKings. Steelers 9-8 last year, so barely hit the over last season. Where are you going with this one?
I think I'm leaning on the over in this one. I think a lot of people are underrating Pittsburgh. I think their offensive line is rock solid, and they just added Broderick Jones to the mix. Also, thanks Patriots for screwing over the Jets on that one. Yeah. assholes. And I just think that they're underrating the offensive line. George Pickens and Deontay Johnson are a fantastic duo of wide receivers. You've got a good, solid tight end in Freiermuth. I think Najee Harris is a baller, man. I like that dude a lot. Catches passes out in the backfield. Runs tough between the tackles. So, I think, unless Kenny Pickett's hands shrink any more, then I think I'm on the over for this one.
I'm on the over too. There we go.
That's why I like this little stress ball that's shaped like a football, because I like to call up Kenny Pickett, and I'm like, Kenny, this is the way it's supposed to look, man. This is the way it's supposed to look. You're supposed to be able to just wrap your whole hand around the ball.
Listen,
he's like, what? This?
He rocks those gloves, and it works for him, I guess. The
gloves with the extra long fingers, so they kind of
makes them look a little bigger.
It puts it's like if you go into those gloves, you put those gloves on, and there's actually a small stick inside, so the stick goes into like the tip of your finger to give the illusion like you can grip the ball better with the tip of your fingers because you're moving that stick. It's very, very interesting. But yes, it gives him a whole extra inch and a quarter.
Something tells me that shouldn't be allowed
on the span.
Something tells me that should not be.
What are you talking about?
Quarterbacks are allowed to wear.
I didn't see anything. There's nothing in the rule book that says you can't extend your fingers.
All right. So I'm on the over too here. As you mentioned, just
are you? I'm on the
Steelers being underrated. This 8.5 win total is just so low compared to what Mike Tomlin has always done with this Steelers team. Going back to his first year as head coach in Pittsburgh in 2007, his teams are averaging 10.2 wins per season. Have been going with the over nine or more wins in 8 of the last 9 years too, coming into the season. This is just something he's consistently doing, whether or not they're making the playoffs. They're going to be a competitive team. I have no, big worries about the defense. The defense will get it done again. But the offense that you mentioned, I think they take another step forward because of all the pieces around Pickett. Pickens going to be, I think, another step forward for him this year. Going to be a playmaker for that offense. Deontay Johnson for sure. Bringing in Allen Robinson too is a solid number 3. Harris and Freiermuth are there too. Harris is a stud for sure. So I think the offense under Matt Cannon is going to take another step forward with Pickett in his second year. So give me the over here. 9-8 last year with a rookie quarterback. I think this total 8.5 is just a little bit too low. So give me the over.
All right.
There we go.
I mean, listen, I again can't argue against it. I'd be arguing against myself if I did that, Servo. So
don't do it then.
I am not that guy.
Again, we are giving away one free entry to the Real-Time Sports Fantasy Football Best Ball Championship. If you missed it earlier, comment right now in our chat with any futures bet you have made for the NFL or anything you're thinking of too. Give us out a pick if it's AFC North related. That is bonus points to you, but you will, first person to do this gets a free entry to the Real-Time Sports Fantasy Football Best Ball Championship. All right, let's flip gears here now and go through some of the best bets we have for baseball tonight with our MLB best bets. And let's see what we got here. What do you have as your top pick, Howard?
Ooh, well, I don't have Max Scherzer going over 7.5 strikeouts tonight. How about that one? Jeez Louise. There it is right there on the screen. Thank you, Adam Bernard. Dodgers team total over 4.5 runs. Listen, Merrill Kelly, I like Merrill Kelly. I think Merrill Kelly's a solid pitcher. He's been working his way back from injury. He's been, banged up a little bit, coming off the IL and just working himself back into his normal shape. But the Dodgers right now are like hitting machines. I mean, it is unbelievable. Just to quote some numbers right now. This is just the Dodgers over the last 7 days. A 400 weighted on base average, a 248 isolated power mark. They're striking out less than 19%. They're walking at almost a 10% clip. Their 9% clip is where they're at. And they're manufacturing runs as much as they're hitting for power also. 12 home runs in the past week, 11 stolen bases, 57 runs scored, and 57 RBI, obviously. And that actually leads all teams right now here over the past week. So, listen, I think that Merrill Kelly, he just gives up like 3 runs. Have you seen the numbers for that Arizona bullpen right now? I mean, that is absolutely atrocious, Servo. Absolutely atrocious. Last 7 days, the Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen, third highest ERA at 7.02. They look absolutely terrible. And so I worry about the Arizona bullpen. So yeah, over 4.5 runs. Give me 5, Dodgers. Give me 5.
I love it. And I fully on board with that because I'll throw out a pick here. Not one of my best bets, but the Dodgers money line. I'm rolling with that. Minus 130 on BetMGM. And everything you just said about the Dodgers offense, just absolutely clicking right now, hammering right-handed pitching. And yeah, I think Kelly, career, by the way, against the Dodgers over the years, 5.45 ERA for him in this matchup. Just not a spot. It just seems like he gets rocked every time. And I think the Dodgers are going to do plenty on offense. You mentioned the bullpen situation. And I think the pitching for the Dodgers here is going to have the upper hand because Bobby Miller, sneaky 2.61 ERA on the road this season compared to a 5.85 ERA at home. Just a guy that's been pitching better on the road. Also, he's got some encouraging, metrics underneath, a higher BABIP, lower left on base rate. So could have some even better outings going forward, especially on the road here. The Diamondbacks, you just went through how the Dodgers have been like one of the league's best lately against right-handed pitching over the past week. The Diamondbacks, a league worst 260 WOBA over the past 2 weeks, also a league low WOBA against right-handed pitching. So I like Miller here. I've bet against him at times this season, but I mentioned that strong road splits for him. And by the way, the Diamondbacks have lost 7 straight games coming into tonight, and the Dodgers are 7-1 in their last 8 games. I think these trends continue, and the Diamondbacks are just kind of reeling. They're going in the wrong direction. So, yeah, give me the Dodgers on the money line. If the team total helps them get there, even better, right?
The team total helps them get there. Yes, definitely better.
All right, my best bet. We were talking about this earlier, how this lost. I went with the Orioles money line last night. They had it won in the 9th inning. They were up by 3 in the 9th. And then Bautista gave up a grand slam to Kyle Tucker and kind of blew it there. I'm going right back to the Orioles here. Minus 138 on FanDuel to get that money line against the Astros. Jack Flaherty on the mound for Baltimore here. He's got a 2.78 ERA since the start of July. Has been much more effective than he was earlier this season. And his first start with Baltimore after the trade deadline, he went 6 innings, allowed just 1 run, 8 strikeouts for him there. I think he's going to keep it going tonight. The Astros are a better offense against lefties than righties this whole season. And over the past week versus right-handed pitching, just a 2.88 WOBA in that split. So coming in a little bit cold against right-handed pitching. Flaherty's been a guy, he's got great numbers against righties, and the Astros lineup is very righty-heavy besides Tucker and Alvarez. Basically, the rest of the lineup has got a lot of right-handed hitters, and I think Flaherty's going to have success there. And the other side, Christian Javier, he's fallen off a bit since he started hot. 8.16 ERA over his last 7 starts. He's got a worse road ERA than compared to home. He's on the road here. And the Orioles over the past week, a top-tier offense against right-handed pitching, 392 WOBA, 153 WRC plus. So give me the Orioles here to bounce back from that loss last night, get back in the win column. And, minus 138 on FanDuel. Not too bad.
Minus 1. All right, man. Back to that well again. I mean, right? They couldn't possibly lose it again, could they?
You don't put that negative energy in the universe. What other picks you got for tonight?
What do I have on the slate for tonight? All right, how about this, man? I'll take the Padres money line. It's minus 135 on DK. There's a little juice to it there, but I mean, listen, you got Darvish on the bump for the Padres. I think this is a really good spot for them to to be in. We know that the Padres are making their way towards trying to get a playoff spot. They need a lot to break their way, but most importantly, they need to win the games that they need to win. Now, I don't know who Emerson Hancock is, pitching for the Seattle Mariners tonight. I mean, unless that's the character name for Will Smith's Hancock, I have no idea like what this guy's all about. That always does unnerve me a little bit, but I love the top end of this Padres lineup. I think they've got some really great components there. I think Hae-Sung Kim is like such an underrated asset. So I'm going to take the Padres on the road, winning this game and putting themselves into a stronger place for a playoff spot.
I like that. And just to tease, I got a pick for this for my Diamond Dogs. And it's in line with you, basically. I'll give you a little bit of cliff notes on Emerson Hancock because I had to dive into him to see what this bet was about. He's going straight from Double-A to the majors here, by the way. He played in the futures game, so I guess that's a plus for him. But in Double-A, he was very inconsistent. He had some good outings, but also was very prone to some blowups. Allowed 9 runs in 2 starts, and allowed 7 runs in another start. So against this Padres lineup, I think that he's prone to another blow up here. So yeah, I think fading Hancock is the smart move.
Fading Hancock.
By the way, we had a comment here. Better Boss chiming in on the YouTube chat here. Says he continues to lose parlaying the 2 highest MLB team favorites to win. Last night, the Brewers got him. Tonight, he's got the Braves and Red Sox for minus 109 in that money line parlay. I mean, listen, it's like you'd think it'd be a smart strategy on the surface, but some of these underdogs, like, I mean, especially I think it's risky with the Red Sox. The Royals are a feisty team right now. They are not going quietly. They beat the Red Sox last night as big underdogs. So I'd be a little scared about including the Red Sox in that one. The Braves I'm fine with because they should light up Quinn Priester on the mound for the Pirates. But I don't know. How do you feel about that one?
Well, I mean, I think the appropriate thing here is to point out that the Better Boss says that he continues to lose parlaying the 2 highest teams. So if you're losing doing that, maybe you ought to change your strategy up a little bit and not put your hopes and dreams on the shoulders of Nick Pivetta and a Red Sox team that has been wildly underperforming this entire season, but even more so now. If you look at the Red Sox here over the last week, talking about a 282 weighted on base average, a 215 batting average, a barely average 164 isolated power mark, and I'll crap on Jordan Lyles till the cows come home, but. Yes. Since Jordan Lyles nailed his first win, I don't know, I think that was like a couple weeks ago, a month ago, maybe, that Jordan Lyles captured his first win. He's got 4 wins now. So what are we doing here? If the move is constant loser for you, you got to change it up. You got to switch horses midstream, whatever it takes. But you can't go back to making the same bets over and over again if you're just going to keep losing.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I'm one of my picks tonight. I'm going against Nick Pivetta here, under 5.5 strikeouts on the line there, minus 105 on DraftKings. Listen, he's had some big strikeout performances in the past month. 2 double-digit performances, but I'm looking at this Royals lineup. We just talked about them. A feisty offense, and against right-handed pitching lately over the past week. An MLB low 18% strikeout rate, a 357 WOBA, just raking against right-handed pitching since the All-Star break at just a 19% strikeout rate versus righties. I really like them to kind of, force opposing pitchers into tough spots, and I think Pivetta is going to get that tonight. Because you look at Pivetta, so the Red Sox are using him as traditional starting pitcher tonight. This is kind of a similar thing I mentioned with Yanni Chirinos last night, and it worked. I bet on the Pirates team total and the earned runs for Chirinos, and it cashed. And Pivetta's in a similar spot because when he's been a traditional starting pitcher, he's got a 5.89 ERA this year and a much lower strikeout rate. Compared to when he's been used as a long bulk reliever, 2.40 ERA as a reliever, and a 34% strikeout rate. So a lot of his big strikeout performances this year have come when he's been coming out of the bullpen, not as a starter. So I'm taking the under on the 5.5 strikeouts. I just think that the Royals will force them into a tough spot here.
Yeah, I'm gonna avoid that altogether. I never like betting on Nick Pivetta. I don't.
And we got a comment. We got a comment. John and Pembo watching here. Thanks, John. Something called Cole Raggins and Brady Singer just shut down the Red Sox offense the last 2 nights. Yeah, that's going from a Red Sox fan. And when he's been on the show, he's mentioned how the Red Sox just kind of a little bit disappointing. The lack of moves they made at the deadline as well. So he knows what the Red Sox kind of let people down lately.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you don't hear me talking about my Yankees, do you? So John and I are like slithering away into like our like postseason cave that neither one of us wants to be in for baseball.
I mean, Howard, when we went post trade deadline betting odds, when you and me kind of broke that down, like teams to make the playoffs, teams to win the division, I don't think either of us even uttered the Seattle Mariners making a run at this wild card. And here they come. They're now pulled ahead of the Yankees, Red Sox. They're well ahead of the Angels for sure. And they're, just behind the Blue Jays. They could easily make it.
Listen, they're a scrappy team with really good pitching. I mean, think about it. George Kirby, Logan Gilbert. I mean, these guys are strong starting pitchers. It's a nice 1-2 punch. The lineup itself isn't overwhelming, but it's kind of scrappy with some good power. Julio Rodriguez, Eugenio Suarez. I mean, there's some pop in that lineup, in the middle of that lineup. They haven't been able to string it together, and that's what's been, super disappointing. All right, my next bet here. I never like it because of bullpens and stuff, but I'm going to take the under 8 runs for the Blue Jays and the Guardians. I got it for -110 on DraftKings. It's Kevin Gausman going up against Logan Allen. And, Gausman is, he's a great starter. You got to love what he brings to the table. The Cleveland lineup is not intimidating by any stretch of the imagination. So, I'm totally fine with that. And then, you think about it, Logan Allen, this Blue Jays lineup has been so hit or miss all year long, right? Yeah. And, Vladimir Guerrero isn't doing what we thought he was going to do. Bichette has been hurt and banged up. Springer, solid, but, again, kind of hit or miss. Who was the one who started? Oh, Chapman started off super hot this season. Then where'd he go? So give me like a nice 4-2, 4-3 game for these two teams at the most. So under 8 for Blue Jays Guardians for me.
Yeah, I mean, both these offense just been very underwhelming. And I haven't been paying attention, but what's the status with Jose Ramirez? Is he playing right now, or is he suspended?
I think they were talking about suspending him. So I don't think they've officially suspended him, but they should.
We got a comment in the chat. Brianna Worth commenting in the Twins money line tonight with Bailey Ober on the mound. I looked at this one because Ober's been really good for the Twins in the rotation. I ultimately stayed away because the Tigers are another one of those teams where it just seems like I could see them winning this game. It just scares me. I don't have a reason for it, but the Twins offense is another one that's just kind of very tough to count on right now.
See, I'm gonna be in on this one. Yes, the Twins offense is definitely rough to have to rely on too much, but yeah, I mean, Detroit, This really isn't that great of a lineup. It isn't. So Twins just on a straight up money line. What are the odds? I didn't even look at the
minus
odds.
162 on DraftKings right now.
Oh, come on. Tasty. Num, 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 num.
We got Alex Fado on the mound for Detroit. So.
Oh, Fado. How about that one there? Servo.
Yeah.
Does Brianna win? A little something. Dropping a best bet in the chat here.
Oh, there we go. All right. Brianna, you have won the RT Sports giveaway that we were giving away for the Fantasy Football Best Ball Championship. Good stuff for just throwing in a pick for tonight. That's how easy it is, guys. Just throw in a pick, and Brianna has won it here. So yeah, you have a chance to win $25,000 for that grand prize, the Best Ball Championship. How awesome is that?
I love it. Even if that bet doesn't hit, you got a chance, right? Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like, oh, my bet didn't hit, but hey, how about this? Now I got a free entry into a $25,000 possibility.
Right? Yeah. It's like it's even better than like a free bet for tonight. But you just for commenting on the chat here, you won something.
Absolutely perfect. Oh,
we got the comments rolling in here. Awesome.
Ross, fed up with Randy Arozarena starting to genuinely consider dropping me. Is Randy Arozarena going to drop Rick Ross?
I think he's talking some fantasy here. Also thoughts on Ellie De La Cruz for rest of season. Any thoughts on Randy or Ellie here?
I mean, I have a hard time dropping either guy. I mean, I'm fine if you want to bench, a Arozarena, and just kind of let him work his way out of it. I think Tampa Bay comes back around a little bit. They got off to such a hot start this year. I mean, I was remember the best bets at the beginning of the season? I was like, ring up the Rays, ring up the Rays, hitting money line bets one after the other. So
Rays run line, Rays team total.
So good. So, I'm okay there. I'm all right. I'm not, gonna dump a Arozarena and Ellie De La Cruz. Listen, if this is not a keeper league, trade him. Trade him right now because the value's high. If he stays, kind of slumping and striking out like he's been doing, somebody's going to be like, this guy's going to be amazing. This guy's going to be a baller. Let's, I'll ride him for the rest of August and September just to see if you can get something of like, some substantial value for Ellie De La Cruz. Make that move. I'm fine with that.
All right.
If it's not a keeper league, though, just stick with it.
He's probably going to be a stud next year. I mean, he's got to make some adjustments, but the talent is clearly there. All right, a couple more picks for us for tonight's slate before we get to some home run calls and diamond dogs. My last one, I'm going with the Orioles money line, and I'm going with Jack Flaherty over 5.5 strikeouts, minus 110 on FanDuel. I mentioned he had 8 strikeouts in his debut with the Orioles, and he's now had 6+ Ks in 3 of his last 4 starts since the All-Star break. And I mentioned he's just been on a really good run since the start of July, 2.78 ERA in this span. And his strikeouts have been up lately, so that's a good sign. And the Astros, as I mentioned, poor 2.88 WOBA against right-handed pitching over the last week, and a 25% strikeout rate too, which is up from what they've been most of the season. Give me the Flaherty strikeout prop here. I mentioned this Astros lineup, very righty heavy besides Tucker and Alvarez. And Flaherty's a guy that strikes out a lot, 28% K rate versus right-handed hitters compared to a 17% rate against lefties. So I think he's going to have, a lot of strikeout opportunities here. 5.5, give me the over.
5.5, give you the over. Okay. I mean, why would I argue with you against that, right? I mean, is there a reason why I would do that? I mean, listen, I like Jack Flaherty. I really do. I've always liked Jack Flaherty. Always been a big fan of his. He's never really been that dominant strikeout pitcher that you want, but I think 5.5 is a low enough total that I think that we can get behind it, especially if you're locking down Orioles money line again, then I think Flaherty makes sense doing the over on his strikeout prop.
There you go. All right, what's your last pick for tonight before we get to some others?
I'm going Shohei Ohtani.
Nice.
Over 7.5 strikeouts. I should probably make him my daily dinger as well, but I won't. I'll save that for somebody else. But Ohtani over 7.5 strikeouts. For me, going up against the Giants are a big strikeout team. It's like 25.8% against right-handers for the season, near 25% over the past week. The Giants have just been about that life. And so I think that Shohei Ohtani can definitely mow him down. This dude is just, he's in such a zone right now for his own game that, forget about, anything else or whether or not the Angels are going to make the playoffs. Ohtani is going to put together probably one of the single best seasons of any professional baseball player in the history of the game. And that means even going back to big old fat Babe Ruth. Right? I think that what Ohtani's doing right now is just, it's unheard of. And, I think that he knows just how unheard of it is. And I think he's very locked in on it. So striking out 8 Giants tonight. Yeah, I think it's doable.
Yeah. Last start, he only went 4 innings and left early. But before that, he went over this in 4 of his previous 6 starts and had 7 in the other. So I looked at this one too, and I like it. Plus 100 odds on DraftKings. You could have went with Ohtani as your diamond dog. You could have went with him as your daily dinger, but you throw him in a little betting pick here. I like it. Before we get to our diamond dogs and daily dingers tonight, just want to remind you guys, if you haven't already, check out the Fantasy Alarm All-Pro subscription to get the Fantasy Football Draft Guide and the Fantasy Football Cheat Sheet for free. Get a free 7-day trial of Fantasy Alarm's All-Pro subscription to get that guide and cheat sheet for free. Just go to fantasyalarm.com/draft. All right, let's give out some plus money picks to the people here. Get to our Diamond Dogs.
I'm rounding up the Diamond Dogs.
Who the are the Diamond Dogs?
It's just a group of people who care, Roy. Not unlike folks at a hip-hop concert whose hands are not in the air.
One of these days, somebody's going to jump into the chat and they're going to be like, could you guys stop howling like that? Because my freaking dog is going to... I used to do a bit on Sirius XM called Opportunity Knocks. And,
I remember that.
And when people were sitting there and they were listening at home, you can't unsee that, John. You can't unsee it. But so, it would be like, Opportunity Knocks. And people would be listening at home and their dogs would hear that and they would go nuts. And they would go right to the door. I had a couple of people tweet me and could you stop knocking? The dog is getting really upset right now. Keeps running the friggin' door.
I remember as producing your Fantasy Alarm show. That was a funny bit.
Adam Bernard telling us in the chat here that his dog falls for the TV doorbell every time. Mine too. Mine too. I'm like, boy, this boy is Jaboo. He's super cute, but damn, he can be dumb.
Got a Jaboo.
All right, Diamond Dog play here. You want to go first? You want me to go first? I got 2 actually.
All you, man.
I gotta go with both of them here. Number 1, Cody Bellinger over 1.5 total bases. I'm in on the Dodgers with the over 4.5 run total there. And I know that it's lefty on lefty crime, but have you seen Cody Bellinger's numbers against left-handed pitching?
Yeah.
It's a 355 weighted on base average. 7 of his 17 home runs have come against lefties. It doesn't matter for Cody Bellinger. So if you're going to give me over 1.5 total bases, knowing that this dude puts the ball in play constantly, all right, and hits for power against southpaws at plus 130, I'm totally in on that. The other one is just more about, I'm going to ride the wave until it breaks. Adley Rutschman has an RBI in each of his last 7 straight games. And as a result of that, plus 185 on DK for him to have an RBI tonight. So, Servo, give me some Adley Rutschman to help your cause of the Orioles money line. And,
there we go.
And let's ride or die together here on that one. But Adley Rutschman going to extend that RBI streak to 8 games today, and plus 185 gets you that extra cash. Cody Bellinger, again, over 1.5 total bases for me at plus 130.
2-for-1 special on the Diamond Dogs. I love it, Howard. And that Rutschman RBI will hopefully help my Orioles money line. My Diamond Dog is the Padres. As you saw, the run line is at plus money, plus 114 on DraftKings. You like the Padres money line, and I'm more confident that they're going to win by multiple runs here. We were talking about it. Emerson Hancock on the mound for the Mariners, going straight from Double-A to the majors. He's had some blow-up outings, as we mentioned, allowing 9 runs in a couple starts, allowing 7 runs in another. I think the Padres offense, they're going to be hungry to make up some ground in the wild card race tonight after losing last night to the Mariners. I think they're going to want to bounce back. And Yu Darvish on the mound for San Diego here. He's been pitching more like the ace we know lately. 3.07 ERA over his last 5 starts. I think the Mariners offense, they've been, we were talking about them kind of up and down, just decent. But I think Darvish is going to do his thing, anchor a big Padres win.
Go Padres.
Go Pods.
We're on that same train together, man. We got to just kind of go with it. So
there we go.
There.
I'm feeling good that we both have it, because we've been hitting on some of these that we're both on, I like that.
Unless it's the Astros against the Orioles.
Yeah, except that one where we both lose. How about that?
Except that one.
Somehow we both lose, even though we were disagreeing.
It's crazy, right? That was the God saying, could you guys get more in lockstep? Could you harmonize a little bit better?
All right, home run calls for tonight are daily dingers for.
And that baby is gone.
Now that's a dinger.
That baby is gone. I'll go first on this one, Howard. Going with, if John and Pem is still watching, going with the Red Sox here. Tristan Casas at plus 320 on DraftKings. I'm just targeting Jordan Lyles. 7.56 ERA for him on the road this season with 12 homers allowed over 11 road starts. He allows a higher slug and, better numbers overall to lefties than righties. And Casas, 5 homers over his last 15 games, hitting 348 since the All-Star break. And 16 of his 17 home runs this season have come against right-handed pitching. 238 ISO, 502 slug in that split. So, give me Tristan Casas to go deep here.
Tristan Casas to go deep. I'm not going to get behind that one because I hate Tristan Casas. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
That's fair.
It drives me nuts, man. Drives me nuts. You know what I'm thinking about doing right now? There he is again, the most handsome man in the universe. It's Matt Olson. It's plus 240. Listen, I've got a full ticket for Matt Olson to lead the NL in home runs, and I've got a ticket for him to lead the entire major league in home runs as well. Now, I know Ohtani's really kind of jamming me up here, but I feel like what I'm going to end up doing is I think I'm just going to throw a half a unit on Matt Olson every game from now till the end of the season, and for him to hit a home run. And I feel like I will come out on the positive side of things here. And not only that, but then my other tickets will cash as well. And then I'll be, swimming through stacks of gold coins like I'm Scrooge McDuck.
There you go. I mean, listen, Olsen, he hasn't homered in 2 games. He's due.
He's due. It's always my favorite analysis right there. He's due.
He's due. It doesn't really work for the singles hitter that doesn't have a homer all year and saying that he's due. But for Olsen, I think it matters. He hasn't homered in 2 games, and this guy homers a lot. So why not? All right, so those are our daily dingers for tonight. Appreciate everyone tuning in here on a Wednesday. We got to get out of here, but We'll be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern here on Bettor Sports Betting. Coming up on Bettor Sports Network, stay tuned for Quick Pitch MLB DFS live show at 5 p.m. Eastern with John Mpemba, who's been tuning in here, and James Grande. And then at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have the Sharp Angles live with Ray Summerlin and Ryan McChrystal. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern. Good luck to everyone's bets and picks that they got going tonight. And we'll see you tomorrow. Later.
Congratulations, Brianna Worth.
There you go.
Boom.
Bettor Sports Betting on the Bettor Sports Network.